Hello, Internet! My name is Sebbi, and welcome back to the coffee break in Minecraft. Today is Wednesday, September 30th, 2015, and wow, that's crazy. That's really crazy. I can't believe that it's already the last day of September 2015. Wasn't it just September 1st or so? Guess time flies when you're having fun, and indeed, time flies when you're having fun, as yesterday morning I had fun while I was running. As usual, I was wearing my running shorts and my running shirt, and as I stepped outdoors, I noticed that I can't see my very own breath, and instead of thinking about the fact that this could mean that the temperatures are a little bit colder, I just began my run. And I was really surprised that I was more or less alone. Usually over the course of the last few weeks and even over the course of the last few months, there were so many other runners outdoors in the early morning, and yesterday morning I was more or less completely alone, and this felt really strange. However, at some point I finally saw another runner, and as she saw me, she really had a surprised facial expression, and I think I had the exact same surprised facial expression as I saw her, as she was wearing a cap and gloves and a jacket and long running pants. And I was thinking, what is going on? It's beautiful weather, it's warm outdoors, why is she dressed as if it would be winter? So I continued my run, and I came across two other runners, and they were dressed the exact same way. So they were wearing caps and gloves and jackets and all the stuff you would normally wear during the winter time. And I was totally confused. I was so confused. And so as I got back home, I checked the weather, and it turned out that the outside temperature was 2 degrees Celsius. So I was running outdoors in a t-shirt and in shorts in 2 degrees cold or warm air. And wow, this is yet another evidence for the fact that I am preferring the colder temperatures, because I haven't really noticed that it was only 2 degrees outdoors. So to me it felt like, okay, it's 10 degrees or so. And so I was really surprised as I saw the temperature, and as I realized, okay, that's interesting. You were running with basically summer clothes in 2 degrees Celsius cold, warm air, and this was really fun. This was really fun, and this really made my day. And well, I don't think that this design will make my day today. I think having those half slabs, right? Using those half slabs to frame my path could be a good idea, but I don't think that the light idea here will work that great, as this is really large, and I don't think that this will look really good when I do this all along the whole path. So I think I have to come up with a different design. Maybe I will just use those half slabs in order to decorate my path, but I think this could be a little bit boring, so maybe I can come up with a different idea. But for now I have to scrap this, and I have to bring back all the materials into my chests and store them there until I can come up with a different idea or a different design for my path. And so I think today I will relocate the Buzz Aldrin Space Program Manager hashtag. Finally, I will relocate this thing, because I was talking about this for 2-3 episodes or so for quite a while, and today is finally the time that I will do this. And speaking about finding evidence for some facts, Monday was a really great day for science, was a really great day for space science. And so I do have now some amazing space news to talk about. And well, at first, the scientists of the Rosetta spacecraft announced their findings why the Comet 67P, has this famous rubber duck shape. And on the other hand, wait, I need to move over there to the waterfall. NASA scientists found evidence for liquid water on the surface of Mars. Wow, that's amazing. That's really great. They found evidence for the occurrence of liquid water on the surface of Mars. That's amazing. That's really amazing. And yeah, so in preparation for this episode, I wrote a lot of notes on my notepad so that I have all the facts ready to talk about, and I hope I can now somehow relocate the hashtag and glance at the same time at my notepad so that I can talk about those two amazing findings. And okay, let's start with the Comet, with Comet 67P. So it turned out that it's, well, right now it's one comet, but previously it was, or it were two comets. So the Comet 67P was formed by two comets that formed independently, and at some point they had a very slow collision, and so the currently form the rubber duck comet formed, and that's cool. That's really cool. This is really a great finding. And how have they found evidence for that? Well, at first they looked at all the images that were taken from the comet. So much about my pickaxe. So luckily I have prepared a new one. Okay, I can grab now all the cobblestone. Okay, I'm not quite sure how many cobblestones were in my inventory before I started to remove the hashtag, because I like to rebuild the hashtag. And okay, the cow population is increasing. This is good. Can I breed you, or do I need to wait a bit? Let me just see. Okay, I can. I will just... Okay, I think that's good. Let me grab all the experience, and no. You will stay in there. You will stay in there. It's getting quite crowded in there, so at some point I need to start to slaughter the poor cows in order to grab their precious leather and their delicious meat. And okay, I was talking about Comet 67P. So a result of a collision between two smaller comets. And I think I will build the hashtag again next to the 2014 monument. And yeah, so the rubber duck shape was caused by the collision. And how have they done this? At first, they looked at all the images that were taken from the comet, and well, they figured out that the lobes of the comet are onions. Well, no, they are not onions, but they are, well, they consist of several layers, and so it's almost like an onion, so that you do have several layers that are wrapped around each other. And do I have some dirt? Yes, I do have some dirt. This is good. So I can fill up this hole over here. And okay, I think I will start building the hashtag over there. So, okay, I can start. And it's getting nighttime. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Of course, it's getting nighttime right now. maybe I can finish this thing, hopefully. Let me just get up here. And place the blocks over there. Now I need to get up a little bit higher. Yeah, this was right. Very good. Now I can descend down and add another block over there. Very good. Okay, now I think, haven't I created some kind of... Indeed, I did. I created some kind of small hidey hole in here. That's good. Okay, oh yeah, I do have my bed. That's amazing. So I can place now my bed and I can go to bed. And so yeah, they found out that the loops consist of different layers, and then they analyzed, or they identified more than 100 terraces on the sides of the loops, and they even took a look at basically at the neck of the rubber duck, and the terraces are of course parallel layers, and at the neck basically of the at the neck of the rubber duck, I'm losing track. It's not that good to... Oh, maybe I should place some dirt down there. Okay, now I'm in trouble. This is not good. Building and doing all the talking about scientific results isn't that easy. And okay, I hope it's this way. I hope it's really this way. Okay, then I think I need to bring it up like this. Yeah, okay, this looks like a bee. Maybe I should continue with this in a future episode, and I just should move over to my cow farm or move a little bit in circles, because it's otherwise I won't finish to talk about all the great findings. And yeah, so I think I will return and I will abandon the idea of relocating the hashtag. And then they identified more than 100 terraces that were more or less parallel layers of the material of the comet. And careful, there was a tree. And soon it became clear that the comet is coherently formed out of these layers. But as they took a closer look at the neck of the rubber duck, basically, they found out that well, on the one hand, as the layers were coherent for both lobes, that on the one hand both lobes must have been formed independently, and on the other hand, then they took, as I said so many times, a look at the neck of the rubber duck, and they found out that the inclination, or that the layers had a different inclination at the neck, and so that they found out that, well, the change in the inclination must have been caused by a collision. And yeah, so that's how the comet has formed, or how the comet got the current shape. And I think that's really amazing. I think that's really special. So it was not formed by erosion or any other effects. It was really well, previously it were two comets, and that's really a cool result. And okay, I'm speaking about other cool results. Mars. On Mars, okay, now I need to glance back at my notepad. They found some dark narrow streaks that are called recurring slope lineae, or RSL, and I think for the remainder of this episode I will just use RSL, because the the real name is more or less a tongue twister. And yeah, so they found recurring dark narrow streaks, and those dark narrow streaks were first discovered in the year 2010. So it took almost 5 years to really find the evidence or find the cause for those dark streaks. And then they used an imaging spectrometer on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, and they detected signatures of hydrated minerals on the slopes where those RSL formed. And hydrated minerals is really, really amazing. And it appeared that I think I can do this. Okay, this is a book, so I can get 10 books out of this. This is good. So now I like to have, okay, this is not the right way. I like to split this in half and do this to get some bookshelves. Okay, this is good. We are making progress. That's amazing. Okay, I can remove this, and now I can move over to the tower. And it turned out that those dark streaks, or the RSL, occur only during the summertime, and during the wintertime or during colder periods they disappear again. And they are mostly present when the temperatures are above minus 23 degrees Celsius. So this is maybe summer on Mars, or spring on Mars, and they disappear again in colder temperatures. And so let me now at first get up here that I'm not running against the wall. They also concluded that the salts or the minerals would reduce the this is good so far, would reduce the freezing temperature of water as it's basically the same way as it works here on Earth when we use salt on our streets in the winter to keep the streets free of ice. And we are of course using salt to reduce the temperature at which water freezes. And so it's the same way. And they even found that there are some perchlorates on Mars, and some of those perchlorates do have the effect on water that the freezing temperature is lowered down to minus 70 degrees Celsius. So minus 70 degrees Celsius, that's about the temperature during the winter time in Antarctica. So that's really cool. And those perchlorates reduce the freezing temperature of water to this temperature, and that's probably the reason why there is now why there is still liquid water on the surface of Mars. And that's really, really cool. And so they even they think, or more or less they think that there are shallow subsurface flows, and some water gets up to the surface, and the water that gets up to the surface causes those RSL. And this a creeper, or is this just reed? I think it's just reed. And that's really amazing. That's really amazing that there are some subsurface flows. And the okay, and then they also looked into the data of the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter detector, and during the occurrence of those RSL, when they were present and when they were dark, they detected some hydrated salts at multiple RSL locations, and when they looked at the same spot when the RSL were not present, then they detected no hydrated salt. And so all of this leads to the evidence, or to the theory, that there is still liquid water on the surface of Mars. And wow, that's cool. That's really cool. So Monday was really a great day for science, for space science, and for space news. Both findings were revealed within 3 hours or so. So at first I was watching the live stream of the Rosetta scientists that talked about the theory and the evidence that the comet is an onion. No, that the comet has been formed out of 2 comets, and they came to the conclusion after analyzing the images and looking at the layers, and by looking at the shape of the layers, that well, the comet consists of many layers. And at the position of the neck, the inclination of the layers and the inclination of the terraces and so on was different. And so they came to the conclusion: okay, both lobes do have the layers the same way all around, except for the part where both connect. And so they came up with a theory of having two lobes that were formed independently and then were merged together by a slow collision. And then a couple hours later, NASA had its Mars press conference, and they revealed and they talked about those RSL, and that they detected hydrated minerals on the surface of Mars. And wow, that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. And wow, that's really cool that they detected some liquid water. And of course, there was so much discussion going on about when do humans first set their foot on the surface of Mars, and could this be also the evidence for life? And there's of course all the time the problem when we do send a probe or a lander or a rover to the surface of Mars. The main problem is to clean the rover and to make sure that the rover is not a carrier for some bacteria or for some other organisms from our own world, because in the end we detect life on the surface of Mars, and then it turns out that, well, we have brought the life over to Mars, and this would be really embarrassing, or this would be really problematic. And so it's always the problem. And so they also, they always tried to land the rovers and the landers in locations where probably not so much life would be present. And on the other hand, those RSL formed on the slopes of crater rims or of mountains. And yeah, this is really a harsh terrain for rovers to investigate this. For a human in a spacesuit, it would be pretty easy to walk up there and to take a surface sample, but a rover has really a hard time driving up those slopes, and so it's also really problematic. They can't now just redirect the Curiosity rover over to one of those RSL in order to take some surface samples to analyze this. And all in all, yeah, this was really a great Monday. And wow, the episode is already over. It's already nighttime. And so, yeah, I can only say I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope you were amazed as I was by those great findings. And I hope you will be joining me in the next episode. Until then, my name is Sebbi. See you!